Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another episode of Trudge Report. This is a recovery-based podcast, but don't worry. If you're not sober or not ready to be sober, we talk about plenty of other things, including sports, trending topics, and a good bit of nonsense. My name is Shawn and I am your host. I'm joined by my good friends and fellow trudgers, Bill, Corey, and Greg. Please remember to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Our videos will still be posted each week, so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. But as always, please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle at Trudge Report Pod. We are brought to you by Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella. Gentlemen, good evening. It's a new day in the Trudge Report world. We have our first guest today, who I will introduce and get to in just a second. But let's do a quick check-in with the boys. How's everybody doing? Corey, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm fine. I was better before I came on this call. Anyway, Eagles won. Eagles won. They beat the Cowboys, which is
what you should do. That's what they should.
That's what they should do. And
exactly.
And they did
and that's
fine.
fine. Yeah,
they did fine.
They beat them by a lot.
Yeah, I think they pulled their starters for like the whole fourth quarter.
As they should.
Yeah. So good day on. I watched it at B-Dubs, which, by the way, so I go to B-Dubs
at where?
Buffalo Wild Wings, Shawn. Jesus,
dude, no, do not refer to it as B-Dubs. Okay.
B-Dubs. Why you have problems with like three things? Three the way I say things, and I don't. Yeah. Why?
Was that English? Dude,
no, I don't know.
It was like a dyslexic sentence.
Dude,
you have problems with three the way I say things.
You guys pissed me off
because there's two W's.
Just know that if I'm all over the place tonight,
Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's B-Dubs. It's B-Dubs.
Buffalo Wild.
It's fucking B-Dubs. Anyway, let me just tell my story, Shawn. This is my time to shine.
Go ahead.
So
clock's ticking.
They don't have. We sat at the bar because I was obsessing, and we asked the bartender
about alcohol.
Yeah, and just kidding. No, we sat at the bar because I was with a friend who drinks, and we're like, "Are there any specials today since it's Sunday?" And he's like, "Oh,
drink special?
Just any specials, Bill. Any specials? No, there's not. It's. I'm sorry. Is this fucking sports bar? Is it football Sunday? No specials. Sounds good. I'll take the 10 wings for $19, please, and throw on a $4 soda too. I mean, good God. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not here to bitch about prices. This is ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous.
And Buffalo Wild Wings, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas. I think it is probably the worst place to go.
It's the McDonald's of Buffalo wings.
It used to be
horrendous.
Dude. It used to be way better. And that's kind of how I met my wife, guys. Sort of. Well, it's not how I met her, but
asking her for specials.
Well, you guys,
wow.
You guys remember Aaron, right?
Aaron. Oh yeah.
Your scooter buddy.
Yeah, my scooter buddy, my road dog there. She kind of called us out. She was like, "Oh," literally in front of a group of people. She was like, "Shawn, Catherine thinks you're hot," and it was like really juvenile and high school stuff. But it's kind of how things started a little bit. So
Steamy.
Can't hate on. I haven't been back to eat, I don't think, ever since then. But can't hate on it too much.
It's not great.
All right,
but I'm well.
So Corey's doing good. That's good. Greg, how are you?
I am. I'm bricked up, man. I'm excited to have our first guest on here. Good weekend in Cleveland sports. Browns had their best game of the season this weekend, so that was awesome. It was the bye week, so it went really well.
Nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong. Can't lose if you don't play. The Cavs right now are on their way to their 12th win to start the season, so that is fun and exciting. Did you guys see too? Like the Cowboys are basically. Corey was mentioning that game. The Cowboys are basically imploding right now.
Dude,
it's awesome.
Micah Parsons called out Mike McCarthy, dude.
No, the most comedic thing ever, though. If you guys have not watched the clip from Jerry Jones yesterday, because CeeDee
Oh,
Lamb dropped that touchdown because the sun, their
Oh,
poorly
that was funny
designed
too. Yeah, yeah,
$3
yeah.
billion stadium
Yeah.
lets the sun shine right in their players' faces while they're trying to catch game-winning touchdowns.
and it's covered. It's a window.
well,
like they
yeah,
built a window there.
right. They built a huge window.
Dumb.
And yeah, dude. So like they're asking CeeDee Lamb about it. They're like, "Well, would you like to have drapes on the windows?" He's like, "You guys are doing my job for me. Yes, I would love that." And then like they go ask Jerry Jones, and his response to whether or not there should be drapes on the windows or whatever, and he's like, "We know the sun. We know the sun.
We can
Thankfully,
tell
for
where the sun's gonna be.
months in advance."
Yeah.
Like this dude is like just the stereotypical out of touch. I don't give a shit. You guys work for me type guy. It's just
There's
great to
been
watch.
a
I
few
love it.
clips of him just snapping, and
He
it's
is
so
there's
he
good.
is
always
something else,
so
boy.
good.
He is something else.
They'll never win when he's in that role. So,
Yeah.
Mr. DeLuca,
Nope.
you're on mute.
Hey, yeah, all is well here. Good week. Shawn, I got to ask you as the host of the show, at what point did you know the game was over for
Literally not
the
until like
Commanders
the
and
last
Steelers?
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew,
literally,
we knew the whole time in
literally not
Steeler
until the
country.
last minute.
I knew you'd say some shit like that,
No,
Shawn.
no, you got no shit talking
And-
from me. You get no shit talking. You guys played an awesome game, and we couldn't make the big play at the very last minute. We did jump off sides, which good on you guys again.
What a
Great
beautiful play
You will
that
hear-
was.
You will hear
I
no
actually
shit
put that on
talking from me.
replay loop.
You'll hear
on
no
my
no
big
shit
TV.
talking from me. Pittsburgh is a formidable team. I wouldn't want to play them again, and I think we got you one more time. Not unbeatable. You're definitely not unbeatable. We had our chances. Don't know what was up with the fake punt. You got to give me some back. Like, what was that about, dude?
There was a
I mean,
fake
if
punt?
he catches the ball, nobody's talking about that one. But
If
he
there was
should
a
have caught
fake
the
punt
ball.
in the first quarter, yeah, but it was
Shawn,
a
did you
terrible
win?
attempt. It
Did
was
you
a
win
terrible
though?
attempt.
Fake
I'm
punts
sorry, it
are
was a very
electric when
humble
they
response,
land.
but I was wondering the end score because
I gave you your
I mean,
flowers,
fake punt
dude.
was actually designed to give you guys a chance to make the game entertaining.
Yeah.
So you have
I'm
to
sure that's
understand
what-
where we're
I
coming
know-
from. As
I know
6-time
Tomlin's big
Super
on
Bowl
that.
champs.
You're
Everybody here,
absolutely right.
raise your hand if your team has 6 Super Bowls. Ready? Oh, for those just listening, I'm the only one with my hand up right now. Corey thinks he's in Port St. Lucie, and
I'll
no one
lie.
else has their hand.
You're blurred.
you're dead.
Sorry, you're blurred out, Bill. We can't see you. Good win. Seriously. Good win.
I appreciate the humility, but
I
had
gave
you right
I
where
gave
we
you
wanted you.
listen, I gave you I
you are
gave it to
who you
Here,
thought
no,
we were.
No shit talking to me. What's
And you
his
don't
name
play
made
us again.
some,
There's no way. We're
What's
not
his
even in the same
name?
conference.
made some great throws and some great catches. That was unbelievable.
I love some Jaden Daniels though, but he
But we
that
had
defense
we
against
legitimately
mobile
had a
quarterbacks.
chance. We had a chance to win though. Like that was a
Right.
close game.
That
Yeah.
defense is
That was a
built to
close game.
stop Lamar Jackson, so I knew that Jaden Daniels. He actually got I benched him in our fantasy league because we have those edge rushers, man. It makes it really hard for him to do his job.
And
So-
our defense is slowly getting better. Like slowly getting better.
oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
But no, you guys, that was a tough game. I was not confident about that game at all. But
It was a good. It was a
I
great
don't know
game.
why they don't
What a
make
pass by Russ.
the play at the end where Ertz caught it and it was just short of the line to gain. Why isn't that play designed to be thrown? Like let him catch it well over the first down. Why is it designed to be caught right there?
Let me ask you though. Did you? I thought that was a first down. Did you?
No,
I mean,
his
probably
knee
not.
was down.
Pro-
you
pro-
can't.
I didn't.
Your
Robert
knee
said
goes
yes.
I thought he
down
was
and
short.
then you
I'm a
stretch it.
Steeler fan. I thought it was a first.
I
was
thought
like,
maybe
that's a
too.
first.
I just don't know why it's not designed to be caught 12 yards over instead of 10. But you
Yeah.
know what? With that, let me bring him in. We have our first guest tonight, and he knows ball a little bit. He likes ball. My good friend Robert Brennan, aka Billy, aka the Lebanese sharpshooter, whatever
I
you
like
want to
Billy.
call him. There's a story behind that. Robert Brennan, good evening, sir. Welcome to the Trudge Report.
Awesome. Thank you, Shawn. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. This is unbelievable.
I know this
So
is
pumped to be here.
this is
So,
big.
first question: was it a first down?
I believe that it was a first down. Yes.
What?
I thought he was short.
I thought it was short
close.
right away.
I was hoping they'd overturn it, but it looked slightly short.
It was
Just
ruled short, right?
run the route a little
yeah.
longer. What's the problem?
That's what I said. Like, why isn't it? And I know it's hard in the moment. The player probably thinks he's over the line to gain, but
Right.
it should be designed to be 12-yard pass rather than a 10-yard pass.
Yeah.
However, we're burying the lead because
What's
the
that mean?
lead tonight is the
Right.
amazing, improbable rookie kicker comeback win by the Detroit Lions.
Yes, sir.
Robert is a Detroit.
Jake
Robert
Bates.
is a Detroit fan
Let's go,
through and through.
dude.
So
That's
give
the
us a
one that
few-
was like that close, right?
both of them were.
Yeah,
there was
right.
a 58-yard one on the right
just-
post, and then the other one, yeah.
He just switched sides. One of them
Yeah.
was the left, the other was the right, dude. It was
Oh
unbelievable.
my god.
Robert, could go ahead and cook for a minute or two on the Lions and just whatever you want to say about them.
I mean, seriously, it's just an amazing, as a Lions fan, born and raised, watching what has been the laughing stock of the NFL my entire life, and staying loyal and committed, and having honestly, I don't know what it is. I just loved that team, and I always have. Since I started watching football as a kid, I have loved the Detroit Lions. So for me, the past, honestly, 3 seasons have been incredibly gratifying. If you guys remember, not last season, the season before, we played Green Bay at Lambeau. We did not make playoffs, but we won that game at Lambeau Field and kept Aaron Rodgers
I
last
remember
game
that.
at
Yep.
Green Bay and kept him out
Great
of the
game.
playoffs.
And you had
I
playoff
tears in my
implications in
eyes
that.
as if we won the Super Bowl. We didn't even make playoffs. And I literally, I remember sitting on my ottoman in front of my TV, watching that game, and I'm alone in my living room, my kids, my wife, everyone's sleeping, and I am crying alone, a grown man.
I've actually seen him,
Amazing.
that happen. But
I must
will
say, Robert, real quick,
Go ahead,
that
Bill,
like
go
the
ahead.
Lions they're my NFC team because of how I grew up a Barry Sanders fan. You know what I mean? And to watch him retire early, Megatron retire early, these great players, I've just felt bad for. I mean, I'm a Pirates fan, so I can just relate to like having a really, and I can't feel for Cleveland. They're the other shitty team. So I
Yeah.
picked the Lions because the team had it, or the fan base had it so bad for so long. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is really nice to see them play ball with a football team's football team. You know what I mean?
And
I think
when you say so long, you mean 1954.
Right. That long.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dan-
91 went to the NFC Championship. 1991 lost to Washington in the NFC Championship.
Who was the
That
quarterback
was
of
their
that
last real
team? Everett,
formidable
was it?
year. No idea. I
Yeah.
was 8.
Okay.
I was 3. Yeah.
I will say that Dan Campbell, like the whole culture over there it's different because I
He
never
scares
really
me.
I never really cared for Detroit. They were just kind of there. One of those, no offense, but shitty teams, although you just said it yourself. But like since Dan Campbell, like they have an identity and they are fun to watch. And he's like fun to watch and he's a loose cannon in the best possible way. And it is pretty cool. I like Jared Goff. I liked him when he played for the Rams and lost to Brady in that Super Bowl and all that stuff. So, also we got to note, Homeboy threw 5 interceptions last night.
5 picks last night.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, and you still won. Like
Yeah.
every championship run, there's a game like that, right, where you find a way to win in the muck, in the mire, and maybe it's a premonition. Who knows? We'll see. But I know you're happy.
I mean,
Robert.
they're certainly,
Yeah.
statistically speaking, they're the best offense in the NFL
Mhm.
right now. I mean, and
Yeah.
Well, last night goes to show you Jared Goff is surgical when he can sit in a pocket with the best offensive line in front of him and keep him safe and protected. And he can see the field. He's got it down to a science, but as soon as you apply pressure, it's not a good situation, bro. And I mean, granted, one of those interceptions, a Hail Mary at half, whatever.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. The
One of
other
them
one should have been
probably
a
shouldn't have
fumble.
been,
It
right,
bobbled off,
exactly.
you know.
I
3
agree.
of them were blatant interceptions that but that's a guy who had 4 interceptions on the season prior to one game where he goes ahead and doubles it and pluses 1.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's been fun to watch. We'll we'll see what happens. We're kind of getting to that point of the year where it's really getting intriguing with a lot of different things.
Mhm.
So, in other news, Corey, I know you're really excited. Josh Allen had another good game. Corey's a Bills fan at heart. Robert, I know your wife. Seriously though, your wife is excited. Robert's wife is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, so I know she's happy in the household there. It's all good when our wives' teams win.
Makes things easier.
Makes things a lot easier.
Jesus Christ.
Corey does love the Bills in his heart of hearts.
I'm so pissed that they're good, dude. I don't like that at all.
Robert, there's a little backstory. There's one friend that we all have who will remain nameless, but
She's
she
annoying
loves
as fuck.
she loves to razz Corey.
Oh, say her
about
name.
how-
It's Tyler. She's annoying as hell.
Okay, fine, that's fine.
You're annoying.
I wasn't gonna be the one.
I
Not
think
not our friend Tyler, a female Tyler that loves
long
to give
brunette
Corey shit.
hair.
Go Bills.
Josh Allen is elite. And
Yep.
she likes to get under Corey's skin. She knows how to push his butt.
They're not
so.
even like a rival. I just can't stand that. And also the Bills Mafia thing is real. I already said
Listen,
that.
I came into
like
my
the Bills.
relationship with my wife a Bills fan. Because granted, I do a little backstory there. Where I grew up in Michigan, the Wilsons owned a home in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, and would come to my mother's jewelry store, and that's where they'd buy their jewelry. As a little kid, she was throwing me like a Bills hat. Like I
The
remember she'd
Wilsons,
walk
as
out,
in the ownership family of the Bills, you mean?
the old ownership.
Yeah.
And my mom would
Mm.
be like, that's the owner of the Bills. And so as a young guy, I was like already leaning towards them, thought that was really cool, you know? And then obviously I meet my wife, but now it's like, you know what, dude, you get the I've got more Bills stuff in my house than Lion stuff because I'm not one to go spend money on a bunch of nonsense. Like
Right.
I love Detroit.
You stole
Yeah,
that hat.
I have
like-
a Detroit hat.
Like drugs and alcohol, nonsense.
Dude, there's like Bills towels on my oven. There's
All right, that's ridiculous.
there's Bills
Really-
helmets on the TV mantle. There's she has a shirt that says something about Josh Allen that I think is kind of disrespectful towards
Burn
me.
that
Actually,
one.
I'm trying to remember what it says.
I can vouch. I've been to his house a
That
few
son of a
times,
bitch.
and it is loaded with Bills stuff. So,
You know, all right.
all right. You want one more? You want to get one more in there,
No.
Corey?
No, just no.
Okay,
I'm proud to report I bought a Joey Porter Jr. jersey today, boys.
nice.
That puppy will be here
Very
in 2 days. That boy is a
Nice.
dog.
So
Happy for you, Bill.
Hey,
Happy for you, dude.
I'm going on the merchandise here. You know,
Um,
Shawn, just because you're not allowed to put up any Commanders gear in your house, you know what I mean? I'm going to be walking around here making eggs in my Joey Porter on Sunday.
Okay,
dude, Shawn, real quick before we
no
start,
draws on.
No draws,
Before
but
we-
Just the
that's
jersey.
it. Just that.
That's great.
Go ahead, Corey.
Before we get in, before we start talking about Robert,
Uh-huh.
it's Eagles versus Commanders on
This Thursday. Yep, you're right.
on Thursday, which
Cool.
I'm excited for.
Do you
I'm
have
not-
Amazon Prime, Corey? I know you have a whole bunch of
yeah.
other cable sites, but do you have access to that one?
Yeah, I think I have like NASA
He's-
TV. I have everything.
1,500
Ridiculous.
in subscriptions. At
It's crazy.
This point.
I'm probably paying for.
No
like
wonder
3
you got to move
Netflixes.
to Port St. Lucie in a cheaper house, dude. Like,
Dude, yeah.
you can't afford with all your cable subscriptions.
You know what? I'm coming to your fucking house after
Your
this.
cable port.
Well, I will be on the pickleball court, and I'll be home for the second half. So nothing stops.
I'll
pick-
ruin
will
nothing
it.
say
stops
you guys.
pickleball.
I'll ruin it.
Oh, I forgot I do have a quick announcement because Bill was on the topic of spending money. And so I don't know if anybody else saw, but Warner Brothers is decided to sell 10 Batmobiles from the Dark Knight trilogy, and they are
Let's
for
get
a
one.
low price of $3 million a piece.
Let's
Okay.
get one.
They are not
can
street
pull our money.
legal. They're not street legal, but they are fully functioning. And if I find a way to blow $3 million that I don't have, I won't necessarily come out and tell anybody, but there will in fact be signs. So yeah, just putting that out there. So,
I'm sure if we all pull our money, we can get at least
Oh,
a
for
quarter
sure.
of one.
Corey, you
Speaking
can
of
sell
other
it.
ridiculous things, it is happy birthday, Joey T. Happy birthday, Joey T.
Joey, that Joey T.
That Joey T. Yep.
I tell you, I played golf with him a few weeks ago.
No, that's
Yeah,
funny.
it was wild, dude. It was wild. He almost crashed the golf cart on the first hole. He didn't strap it.
I can imagine.
It was bad, dude.
Yeah.
That being said, real quick on the shout out, it is Veterans Day, so let's take a quick moment. Thank all our
Jeez.
veterans. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you sacrificed. Any veterans that listen to this podcast, or that if you have a loved one that's a veteran, please send them our love and our thanks.
Dude, Lucy got home from school, and I interrogated her to make sure they taught her about Veterans Day today. I'm like,
Not in Port
what'd they
St.
teach
Lucie,
you
they're
in
not going to
kindergarten?
teach her.
All the schools
I'm
had
gonna-
schools had a ceremony this morning, Corey. All
Port
the
St.
Martin
Lucie,
schools.
you're not going to be hearing nothing about no Veterans Day, buddy.
What? You know what? There's nothing wrong with Port St. Lucie. The recovery is
They're going to
excellent.
teach you how to make a prison shank on the
Excellent.
yard.
Walk it back. Walk it back.
Yeah, what do you mean walk it back? It's
I
a
don't
fine city.
Okay.
Fine city.
All right. We're gonna move
Where
on.
all of our friends live.
No.
Yeah, basically.
Two of your friends live here in Martin County.
Lucy,
No, they don't.
Lucy's gonna be selling
Not anymore.
roll-ups on
You're
the
Not anymore, they
playground.
don't.
You're not my friends anymore.
No. Hashtag PSL. I'm coming for you.
Robert, this is about you tonight.
I can't tell. I can't
yeah.
tell.
That's all right. So Robert's
That's
our
good.
first
Let's try
guest.
to keep the flow the way it is. I like this.
Robert's our first guest, and it was kind of one of
We
those
suck at
things
this.
we've been talking about guests for a while, and I don't know. Corey and I both kind of thought about Robert because, number one, I know he's an avid listener to the Trudge Report. I've talked about it with him many times, and we just know, like, football season, Detroit fandom. Baseball season just ended. The Tigers were in the playoffs as well. Made a bit of a run. He's got an interesting backstory, and just, I don't know. We just wanted to have someone that kind of knows and loves the Trudge Report on to be our first guest. So, what do you want? Let's say, how are you? First off, let's just start. How are you? Where are you coming to us from? You can disclose or undisclose your location.
Port
What
St.
would you
Lucie.
like to say? Just go right ahead. Anything
No,
you
I'm
wanna say?
great, man. I'm great. It's been just a day, to say the least. Very productive, very busy. And all day in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I gotta smack myself. I'm going on Trudge tonight. This is my first time doing a podcast, dude. And it's awesome. And I listen all the time. And I have a long drive, an hour drive to work, so I put on a podcast, and to be on this end of it's pretty cool for me, man. I'm coming from Palm City, which is it actually is a bordering town of Port St. Lucie.
Yeah,
so
I've heard of it.
It's
a buffer
it's a great
between
little
Martin
area.
County and Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, it is Martin County, between Stewart and Port St.
Stewart.
Lucie.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but it's just been it's been a really good day, man. Granted, I had a very early meeting for work this morning, and of course, the Lions are playing last night, and I'm watching that game, and just in a utter state of depression, just pathetic. The whole same old Lions starts coming to my head, and then that whole situation where they come back and win. So I'm hype, and I'm telling you, I get emotion. My heart's pounding. You can see it through my chest. I can feel it, my heart pounding to a point where I can't fall asleep until 2:30, 3 o'clock last night. So little exhausted.
It was like the election night all over again.
Yeah, and I stayed up for that too.
Very good. Robert, what do you do for a living? If you want to tell the listeners.
Yeah, no, I sell real estate for a developer. I'm situated in a community in Vero Beach, Florida, and we build beautiful homes, and people come see me, and I'm not like a general realtor. I go to an office every day in a model home, and they come to me, and they they can build a house from a dirt lot, or we have inventory homes, and I show them around, and I sell the house. It's amazing.
This ends up being so for a developer, this is like a community that they build, like a HOA or something. They build it and then it turns over. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I'm in right now, it's me and one other person. We got 202 houses to sell. The one I came from was 408 houses. It's an awesome job. It's been life changing. And before that, I did air conditioning. So I'm going from crawling through attics, working 80+ hour weeks,
In
doing
Florida.
which, by the way,
Yeah.
I'm passionate about air conditioners. If
He
you guys ever
loves
need
his air
any.
conditioners. I
Oh,
can
yeah.
vouch for that.
Me too.
But at the end of the day, this is better for the family and better for the pocketbook. And it's been a great experience.
Very cool.
I'm gonna call you when my Port St. Lucie air conditioner doesn't work anymore.
Hey, he's been over
Which
to my
probably
house.
will happen.
He's been over to my house
Probably
like
will
12
happen.
times. Robert, do you want to tell us a little bit about your sobriety? Not to give that away too quickly, although I know it's not a secret.
Well, I
Talk
have a
us
question
little-
for him,
Perfect.
if I may.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're from Michigan, yes?
Yes.
And you may have already mentioned like near Detroit or how
Bro,
far?
I literally grew up. My parents still live in the same house, and it's on 8 Mile and I-94.
So you know Eminem is what I'm getting at.
Personally.
Did you battle rap him?
He used to get high with him.
Oh, dude.
No, he actually worked at Gilbert's Lodge, which I mean is right down the street from where I grew up. And
Oh, really?
we'd go in there to eat, and you'd have, the manager who's been there forever telling you stories about how he used to drive him home and all that. But yeah, same
Oh, that's wild.
exact neck of the woods. I mean, that's the area I grew up in. He grew up like 5 miles down 8 Mile, and Warren, much different. Don't get me wrong, than where I grew up.
Hey, we've all seen the movie. We know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Was the
It's,
movie an accurate depiction of the neighborhood? The movie?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of Detroit was Brittany Murphy from?
Brittany Murphy, the actress.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
You
that
know,
played
she's
in
in
8
that
Mile.
movie. All right, it was a bad
She
joke.
didn't
All
actually
right.
grow up in Detroit, though, did she?
Right?
No,
No,
no.
don't pay him any mind. It was a bad joke.
I just love her. so, yeah.
Rolling.
that Midwest humor. That Pittsburgh Midwest humor.
Didn't she pass away?
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it.
Did she?
It's actually from fungus or something crazy, and then her
Yeah.
husband died like 3 months later. Something weird.
Damn.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
That's
Brittany Murphy.
crazy.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Brittany.
no, I just remember that scene where he's like, she's like, my friends think you're crazy. He's like, your friends don't even know me.
Yeah, that was exactly it too.
That's good, dude. That's good. So, Robert, you've been sober. I think if I remember correctly, January will be 4 years. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, January 29th
Mm.
will be 4 years.
Very cool.
Time flies, huh?
What? So obviously you're from Detroit. How did you end up in Florida? And this kind of sets the stage for like your story, quote unquote. So.
Oh man, yeah, so I was one of those. You go to the rehab centers and they call us the chronic relapsers, and the AMA types, the against medical advice. I was against any kind of advice type. And so in Michigan, where I grew up, which by the way, where I grew up, it borders Detroit, but I grew up in a great neighborhood, just awesome upbringing, 3 older brothers that were just absolute badasses, and a great mother and father, and like an absurd amount of cousins, and so everything going for me type kid, and I'm just, it's something, clicked at a young age too, very young. I mean, I couldn't barely get through high school. Yeah, I was already physically dependent, in early high school years. But how I ended up in Florida was really and I say this cliche, but truly by the grace of God. I was working in a restaurant and going through bad withdrawal, trying to get through a shift at work at a place called Rockefeller's, which has since burnt down. We're not quite sure why that burnt down, but we have our
statute of limitations is up probably.
But that place burned down. But yeah, I was walking through the kitchen, and one of the chefs looked at me and was like, "Bro, you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not okay."
Nope.
And he said it verbatim. He said, you need the love of Christ.
Ooh.
And I said, okay, bro. Yeah, thanks for the advice.
Exactly what I wanted to hear.
and I went on my merry way. And he comes up to the bar. He gives me a
Does
phone number
Christ
on a
have
sheet of paper.
$10?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Yeah, exactly. And so he gives me a sheet of paper, and I stick it in my wallet. The piece of paper had a number on it, and I stick it in my wallet. A good 8 months goes by, and this is the lowest point out of my, at this point, hundreds of low points, hundreds of rock bottoms, homelessness, just absolute incomprehensible, just demoralization across the board, through and through. And all of a sudden, 8 months later, I'm homeless in the park that I played Little League baseball in, and at a place of complete and utter brokenness and desperation and tears. And I pull out my wallet. I mean, at this point, my family would call the police on me if I stepped foot on one of
Been
their
there.
properties.
I've been there.
Yeah, and so it was, well, let me just preface that it was well earned, very well earned. And I call the number, and I remember just telling the guy, listen, you don't know me, I don't know you. But I'm at that place right now in my life where it's like I'm ready to call it a day. And some guy told me to call you. Last ditch effort here. You know what I mean? I don't know. And that's the truth. I didn't even know who the guy was. He didn't know me. I didn't even know if he knew the guy that gave me the number, And the guy is like, hey, I hear you, man. And he didn't even want to hear my story or anything, and cut me off and was like, can you get to a metro airport tomorrow morning? And I was like, sorry, sir, I think you misunderstand. I do not have any money. I don't even have, and I remember being worried I didn't have a pack of cigarettes, let alone any money, and I said that. He said, that's not what I asked you. And I was like, okay. I kind of felt like he was shutting me up and kind of throwing me a lifeline. And I couldn't even ask any questions beyond that. Like, where am I going? Do I need to bring anything? What's there on the other side? Like, is it a one-way ticket? None of that was even asked. It was just like, yeah, I guess I can get there. And while we were on the phone, he sends me the flight info for a one-way ticket to West Palm Beach, Florida. And that's a whole nother story in itself, but made it to the airport.
Now, hold on. Is this our mutual friend?
Yes.
It is? So
Yes.
real quick. So the guy that Robert's talking about, I actually know him. I was best friends with the guy's son.
How the hell does that happen?
Well, that's kind of the cool part of the story. So I went to high school at a place called Trinity Christian Academy, and one of my many high school endeavors. But this guy, and we'll keep him anonymous just because we, just out of respect. But this guy was the head of the maintenance department of the high school, and very, very much involved in the ministry and in the church, and he was one of those that he did a lot of stuff in the recovery field as well, Christ-based recovery stuff. And I was best friends with his son, and I used to get drunk as shit with his son all the time, and just all the time. We lived. After getting kicked out of my mom's house, I lived with his son for a little bit, which didn't last. And his family was very, very kind to me. I loved his family. My dad coached his younger brother in soccer, and he had a couple sisters, and just a wonderful wife. They're huge Gator fans, I'll say that much. And so when I lived with the son for a little while, there was another man in the house his name was also similar. I'll keep it anonymous, but there was another man in the house who had struggled with recovery and was in and out of the rooms of recovery. And I, long story short, eventually years and years later, owed this man an amends, because I realized once I got sober that when he was trying to get sober, we would steal from him and have parties, and we were getting high in the house. And a couple of years ago, I don't even remember how Robert and I figured out that we knew the same people, but
I went to make amends to.
That's right. Okay. So go ahead. I'll let you pick that you can pick up that story wherever you want, whether you want to pick it up there or just resume with your own story. But yeah, the man who got Robert to West Palm Beach was a near and dear to my heart as well. So small world.
That's kind of wild.
And to that man, I was just a stranger, just a broken kid in Detroit. I mean, he probably I don't even know if you remember my name when I landed. Like, that's how service oriented and just his vision and his calling, and he's devoted, and he's just truly a remarkable human being. And I owe so much to that man. I mean, I'm sitting here married with 2 beautiful daughters, living a life beyond my wildest dreams. And that I would not be here in this seat in this home if it wasn't for that moment, that moment. And in my head, I'm like, West Palm Beach, Florida. Okay. Like, one-way ticket. I have 0 to lose. I have nothing as it is.
You and so many other people have been like, yeah, Florida? Absolutely, I'll go to Florida for treatment or whatever it is. Like,
what do you mean? Yeah.
I was not stoked.
At this point, I don't even know anything about like treatment other than my Salvation Army experiences and plenty of state-funded facilities. That's all I really handled up in Michigan. I never had insurance,
So did you ever have like a good period of sobriety before coming to Florida? Did you ever have like
9 months?
9
Yeah,
months?
yeah, when he was a kid, Corey.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
He was a
not. We don't
child.
know. We don't know.
No, I mean, I was in and out of the Detroit area since high school. I even moved out to Vegas for a while, moved back to Michigan, in every attempt of my life. The reality is that every moment of my life was either trying to get sober or living in absolute guilt and shame, bogged down by my addiction and knowing that there was a better way, and that's from high school, but I was that guy that just came in and out, in and out, in and out. I just could not get it. It just wasn't clicking, and I mean, now looking back, see exactly, there's so much I've learned since, but dude, I've tried Suboxone.
That didn't
wait,
work?
that doesn't work?
The hell?
It was the worst thing I ever did. It was the worst thing I ever did, dude. That led to the worst relapse that I've ever had.
Yeah,
I believe it. Can you take a moment? What was being homeless and on drugs in Las Vegas like?
Terrifying.
And I know you weren't.
honestly.
I know you weren't homeless
Yeah.
the whole time, but I know, But
Yeah.
what was that?
No,
what was
when
that
it got
like?
to when it finally got to that point, it was a very scary experience. Because I'm out there in Vegas with my big cousin, who basically took me in because my family, they thought, well, we don't want this kid here. My cousin lives out in Vegas. He's got a great job for a great resort out there, and he gets me a sweet job. I'm a cabana boy on a topless pool deck, for God's sakes, at 20 years old.
And
like-
that didn't keep you sober, dude?
Dude, I got out there and I was supposed to stay sober just to get the job. And I knew that. They did a hair follicle test for this job.
Ooh.
And I knew 6 months before going there that I had to pass a hair follicle if I was going to be allowed to get this job. And I vowed to my family, to my cousin, I said, I'm sober, dude. I promise. Didn't stay sober a single day. And I get to Vegas and I fail the hair follicle. And I end up on the phone with I can't, this is a situation, I can't name any names, but
Yes.
I end up in a situation where I'm getting falsified prescriptions sent
Nice.
to the job in order for
Nice.
me to be enabled into this job. Yeah. And then
But
they're like, oh, I ended up
You got in. Yeah. Got it.
I got
boy.
in.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah. And the way that I lost that job was maybe one of the more humiliating experiences of my life, because I was the way that I actually got there, and I didn't have any resources at this time. So I get out there and I go through opiate withdrawal week 1 of Las Vegas. Thankfully, my cousin smokes a lot of pot, so that helped.
Yeah.
And so I go right to smoking a lot of pot. I'm drinking, but in my sick mind, I'm like getting sober, you know.
Right.
And so
Las
I
Vegas.
end up, dude, yeah, Las Vegas. Screw California sober. I'm Las Vegas sober. And so I end up on this pool deck like probably 3 months into the job, and I'm actually doing good. I put on weight. I'm looking better, out in the sun all day, meeting girls. Like, it was awesome, dude. Playing poker, just having the time of my life. I asked this lady named Grace, who handed out towels as people walked out of the hotel. She would hand the towel to the guest. Grace, do you have a Advil or a Motrin? And she's like, no. And she's a sweet old lady, dude. You know, she's like, but I got prescribed something because I did something just happened, blah, blah, blah. It's a Loratab, dude. And that was like 3 months in. And I'm like, yes. This is the best case scenario. I said, Grace, I'll take the whole bottle off your hands. And that led me to a absolute debacle. And when I finally ended up homeless was because I walked through that pool deck going through opiate withdrawal, and I see a purse by a pool chair, and I'm like, just blatant, dude, blatant. I go drop a towel on top of the purse, go bend over to pick up the towel. I pick the purse up with the towel, walk to the bathroom, steal $200 out of the purse, walk back out and there's hundreds of people all around. I don't know what I was thinking. I drop the towel again. This time I leave the purse behind. And the next thing I know, I've got 5 security guards pinning me up against the wall, patting me down, escorting me off the property. And the only question there was, is this person going to press charges or not?
Right.
My cousin gets involved. They don't press charges. My cousin says, you are not welcome at my house. I'm now homeless in Las Vegas. You know, there's underground tunnels that are unbelievable in Las Vegas. Literally tunnels that go under the city.
We've
with
heard.
an incredible homeless population.
I didn't know that.
They got a name for them. What's the name for them? I don't know. There's like a special name for them. It's like they're like
It's
citizens
a world
of the
underneath.
underground.
It's literally a world underneath the city. And I ended up in there.
God.
And that place is scary, bro.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like, is it like densely populated?
Dude, it is. You walk in darkness for like a period of time, and then there will be like a corridor with like lanterns and cots, and like people literally make a fortress. They make their home down there, you know?
Yeah.
And then you walk another section of it, and it's just section after section after section of tunnels beneath the city, and they are occupied by all the homeless population in that city.
Yeah, I just had a buddy of mine tell me that his friend is currently living in there today.
Yeah, dude.
I said you got to get that guy on the podcast. That's actually what I said to my buddy today. I said, don't tell him to sober up. I want to see the real deal, like live underground Vegas down there.
It's unbelievable. There are YouTube videos where they go through tours.
I've seen some of them. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like a different universe.
So Robert, you're also an actor, as from what I understand, and have starred in a major motion picture. Is that correct?
Listen, shout out to the King of Detroit. I am the lead in that movie.
Oh, you were the lead.
What?
I was the lead, yeah. And shout out to Dave Landau, who's actually on Fox and Friends tonight, the Gutfeld show.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock tonight, he'll be on Fox and Friends with Gutfeld, is that his name? And Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
So if you want to see the guy who I'm talking about, he is the one that made this movie with a couple other of his buddies. They wrote it. He came up with the funding. He put it together. I'll never forget. He asked me to be the lead in it while I was sober and bartending at what's now my brother's bar. At the time, it was not owned by my brother, but in Michigan. And I'm on top of the world, man. I'm playing golf every day. I'm going to the gym. I'm working out. I'm doing weight protein. You know, I'm like living the dream. I finally found it, dude. I got sober. This was after Vegas, after a whole stint in Ann Arbor, Michigan that went very south. And I finally end up in my hometown with my family, sober. And I finally it clicks, and I start just really doing the thing and applying certain principles to my life on a daily basis, and things changed. But what really changed was, I don't know, I got money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I had a couple different girlfriends.
There you go.
I was golfing all the time. I was getting big in the gym, and I just felt, I think, ego.
All the really important stuff. Yeah.
All the really important stuff. I was the sober bartender. I was the town therapist, dude. People were consulting. It was unbelievable what this did for my life. And he comes to me and he asked me to star in this movie. And now I'm like, dude, now I'm really thinking there's something special about me, and
how could you not?
Right before the movie starts, I'm 9 months sober, and this moment I'll never forget. I get a pain in my upper abdominal area that was excruciating.
This is the whey protein story.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard this story. Okay.
And I'm telling my brother. I mean, I remember going to my dad's house and my mom's house and I'm telling you guys, this hurts. There's something going on. You probably pull the muscle, you'll be okay. My family's always been like tough it out type shit, We don't go to the doctor, And so I said, okay, I'll take your word for it. I think about 7 days into this pain, I'm at work and the pain gets so excruciating that I black out. And I come back to, and at this point, my mother gets involved. My brother, I think, called. I'm not sure exactly how but they now see there's something a little more going on. Like, he blacked out, I'm in excruciating pain. They rush me to the hospital. And the doctor comes up to me and says, you have acute pancreatitis and your enzymes and it's through the roof. I don't know how you have made it this long without coming to see me. It is so inflamed. And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, well, you must have been drinking, right? Drinking causes this. And my mom's right there. Everyone thinks I'm sober 9 months. Mind you, I was sober 9 months, but nobody believes that now. And he comes up to me and he says to me, I'm doing this with great hesitation, but I have to give you Dilaudid. I have to trick your brain into thinking that your body isn't in pain and you need to lay down and do nothing. You can't eat. The way that you cure pancreatitis is you don't activate your pancreas. You try to bring the stress levels down and you don't chew anything or eat or digest. So your pancreas just starts to decrease.
Down. Yeah.
Wow, man. So I cried because I was actually sober and I'm about to do this movie and I'm pumped for the movie and all that. And he's like, I'm doing this with great hesitation. And he gives me that first drip of Dilaudid and it was game, set, match. I took 3 days, what should have been 3 days in the hospital, turned it into 14 days, just clicking that button. 14 days. I could have been out there in 3 or 4. They're like, are you sure you're still in that much pain? I'm like, absolutely. This is terrible. And then I leave the hospital after 14 days. I went from like a $190 in tip top shape to like 157 pounds, skeletal in the face. And here I am, I got to go do this movie. Now I look at the movie and I see myself and it's unbelievably embarrassing for me.
Give us because we want to get to our reading for tonight, which you brought. Give us a quick synopsis on the movie, what it's about, and where we can find it.
Oh man, I should have figured it. So I think you can find it on Amazon Prime. It was just recently on YouTube, but I think he took it down from YouTube. But the movie is called The King of Detroit. It's about, I play a character named Jesse, who is a senior in high school. And I get my first car, which is a 1991 Chrysler LeBaron drop top. It was a
like
manual.
Freddie got fingered. The LeBaron.
And like Freddie got fingered, LeBaron.
I only see one LeBaron.
and he puts together this movie where it's just me going out on Detroit we go into Detroit essentially. And I'm trying to show this car off to my friends and all hell breaks loose. I mean, we end up in a drug house. There's a shootout. People start dying. It's a dark comedy. That's what it is.
Yeah, you are barely recognizable. I'm looking at
You
the.
looking at it now?
I'm
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime right now. I'm going for it. This is what Gabby
I've
and I
actually
watched the
seen
other
this
night.
pop up on my Amazon Prime. Like, recommend. I swear to God.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm a movie buff and I've never fucking heard of it, but now I'm very much intrigued.
Wow.
Very, very much intrigued.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, Dave put this together. You guys got to understand, it's not easy to make a movie. You know, it was a
No.
feature-length film, and he got together and got the people together. He organized it and filmed it. It was impressive to watch him actually go through the process of putting it together.
Yeah.
You know, the movie is what it is. For what we did, I think it's well edited. I think it's funny. I think that it's hard for me to watch, and there's times where I to
I'm
this
sure.
day think I need to call Dave because I feel bad. Because yeah, I look at that and I'm embarrassed by what I see. I'm a shell of the man that that he asked to play the role.
You got a little bit of the Goodfellas or Sopranos, like Michael Imperioli going on for you.
Bro, my
Looking
high
all right.
school social studies teacher literally called me Christopher. That's what she called. I'd walk into social studies in 10th grade. She'd be like, "Hey, Chris." And the irony of that is he's the heroin addict in The Sopranos.
Oh yeah, we know. We know.
Maybe
that's
that's why
good.
he called you that then.
Yeah, I guess.
That's good stuff, man. What a life. All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears and let's get to our spirituality segment. Robert has brought us a reading tonight, and it will, for all of those who are listening to this podcast, it will be flashed up on the screen if you can go to our listening platform if you want to read along as he goes. But yeah, Robert, whenever you're ready, go ahead and read it and give us a quick share on it, and we'll go around the horn real quick.
Awesome. All right, so we may have spiritual experiences in our daily lives that we don't think of as spiritual. For many of us, music lifts us from the practical and mundane circumstances of our lives into communion with the universe. One man may like to listen to country music on the radio. Another one might play the piano, and another might go to rock concerts. For each of us, music is a different world from the reasonable, hard data, task-oriented world we usually live in. Music touches our feelings and speaks to us in a special language. It brings us back to special times in the past, perhaps recalls a night of fun and excitement or a person we shared a song with. Music lifts our spirits and opens us to deeper feelings we weren't in touch with. Many of us meet our higher power through the music we love. Today, I'll make room for the restorative powers of music in my life. Listen, I picked that because I listen to you guys all the time, and I know you guys love music. And it's only recently, I mean, really within the past year or so of my life that, dude, I'll be driving down the street just listening to a song and it brings tears to my eyes. And what the impact that music has on me in terms of connection, even when I go into my nightly prayer routine, I'll go on a walk and I'll throw music in, and it's just, there's a connection that happens. It brings something out of me. It awakens the spirit inside of me. You'll get the goosebumps. Sometimes the emotion will be like laughter. Sometimes it'll be joy. Sometimes it'll ignite memories that, I can't even believe I hadn't thought about in the past 10 years, and it really is, it's powerful. And what that reading did to me is just kind of put it in perspective how spiritually powerful music actually is. And now I'm just at a point where it's like, dude, I'm going to get off this podcast. I'm going to go for a walk and look at with Christianity, with worship music, before they go into a service, and how powerful that is. And I think it's awesome how, like one guy, it can be hip hop, You know, another guy is rock and roll, another guy it's country. Like it's a different taste for everybody. You know, it doesn't matter, but it has the same like principled effect. So that's what I got to say about that.
Good, man. That was a good reading. It was nice and I like it. It was different. Greg, you want to go next?
Sure. In the stealing a little quote from Step Bros, but did we just become best friends? Because that was like, I thought that was just a phenomenal reading to go with, and definitely like a little out of the box,
Right.
from what we normally talk about. But yeah, man, to quote the late great Bob Marley, he said, the thing about music is when it hits you, you feel no pain. And for me, dude, that's a damn lie, with all due respect to Mr. Marley, because like I feel a range of different emotions depending on what music I listen to. And for those people who maybe are unfamiliar with the show, like, yeah, we talk about it a lot here, and we talk about going to shows and going to concerts and like that. For me, being in a concert with my friends, with my girlfriend, with whoever, and like, I can feel the presence of a higher power there, I can feel just the electricity in the air from it, and I've been privileged certainly this year to go to a variety of different shows, and kind of broaden my horizons there from everything from country to hip hop to rock and roll to stuff like Dave Matthews Band and everything like that. So it's like it's been a huge spectrum of stuff this year, and really throughout my entire life, man. But that is absolutely since we started doing this, and I've gotten hip to podcasts and stuff like that. Like I find myself sometimes like in the gym, I'll go a big stretch, or when I'm out walking or whatever, I'll go a big stretch where I'm just like listening to podcasts a lot. Right. And then it's such a welcome refresher to just throw on some tunes again
Yeah.
and get those back in the loop, and yeah, like I said, man, you feel a range of different emotions. And I love, for me, like certain songs and certain that like bring back a smell, a taste, a memory, and whether or not, like, sometimes that is a painful one, sometimes it's heartbreak, sometimes it's a moment that I shared with somebody that I just really loved, sometimes it's Corey making a stupid face at a concert and it makes me laugh, and I'm like laughing like an idiot while I'm on the treadmill at the gym, and people probably think I'm crazy, and I'm cool with it, so yeah, it is for me an absolute connection with my higher power. I'm really glad that you came on the show as our first guest, man, and I'm really glad you chose that reading.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Greg. That was a great share. Bill, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I like what you guys had to say, and thanks for everything there, Robert. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, music, man, it's crazy because it dials me in so much more to that next level. That, like, during the seasons of my life, especially seasons of pain, I avoid a lot of kinds of music because I'm like like currently just a lot of music I won't even listen to right now. There's certain songs I won't listen to remind me of certain people, certain situations. So it can really kind of get that out of you, good or bad. Not that it is bad, but I mean, there's just things I just want to pack away and not listen to, even songs I love. You know what I mean? My good friend Jen tells me, you got to stop listening to trap music, dude. You need to listen to worship music more. And she's right, man. Like, because sometimes I get up in the morning, I pray, I meditate, and I can't wait to go throw some poo shiesty on in the car and in the truck and just trap out all the way to work and get mad at people in traffic. You know what I mean? I
Sell
just can't
drugs
wait
on
for
the
this.
way.
Yeah, dude, I might stop and fucking just buy drugs and sell them just for the fuck of it. And litter and shit, but
Litter.
Throw
just
out
the
my
litter.
throw my Snapple
You
bottle.
know what I mean?
You-
Just
you
start throwing
renegade.
shit out the window.
You renegade.
I come back and pick it up later after I listen to worship music though.
Yeah.
I adopt a highway, guys. I adopt a highway. And so, but she's right, man. Like that, it kind of does set the tone, and but it's like I get excited in the morning, like even coming downstairs, like, oh, what am I gonna listen to in the truck? You know what I mean? And because like I'm like, I got 20 minutes. What can I get in today? You know what I mean? So, and also though, I am noted as having like the craziest playlist ever. Like I'll go from worship to like trap music to country music to rock music, and then back to like, like I just throw it all in there, doo wop, You know, I come from a music family. My uncle actually was inducted into the Heinz History Center today for his work of doo-wop production in the Pittsburgh area. So that's a pretty cool event. But like his wife is a singer as well. I have her CD. He made her like a she has albums that were sold on a professional national level, but he actually just made her a CD like this, just an aggregate of all his favorite songs for her last birthday. I have that CD in my truck, and I have Mary of the Mountains CD ready to go as well. So
Gotta love
I
it.
listen to it all. Mary of the Mountains special. Yeah, How Great Thou Art by her. Um, so yeah, it's really contingent on my mood, but I always know that is going to crystallize the mood, whatever the mood is. You know what I mean? So I kind of base it off of that whenever I go into it, and sometimes it's a guilty pleasure, but it's always a pleasure to listen to music, man. Music's got me through rock bottom, like you were saying. Like when you have nothing, you're out there
Right.
bumming cigarettes, you can still listen to music for free, or
Yeah.
through Napster.
Napster.
You know what I mean? So yeah, music's special to my heart, man. I love the reading. Thank you for that, Robert.
Good stuff,
Thanks,
Bill.
Bill.
Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, good stuff. Man, as much as we talk about music on here and the concerts we go to and stuff, we never actually, this is what I thought about when you sent this reading. Like, we never actually talk about the spiritual nature of music. So it is really cool to have this reading. Obviously, I mean, music is super important to me. Has been since I was 5. I can remember the first Beatles song I ever heard. Literally to this day, can remember the room I was in when I heard "Here Comes the Sun," and that hooked me into the Beatles. And just it's been a journey ever since. But something that the reading said that I also like in different words. I have it on a plaque somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Somebody gave it to me for like Christmas or a birthday or something. It's like a little plaque, and it says where words fail, music speaks.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was really cool because, and like you guys have already said, I mean, it's kind of, isn't it interesting how you don't even need lyrics to feel emotion from, just a bunch of notes strung together. And that's always been super weird. And honestly, one of my favorite things to meditate to, I get into the guided stuff sometimes or whatever, but my hands down, one of my favorite things, it's not John Denver.
Oh,
Sean.
John, that's
I mean,
not it.
it's up
You
there.
knew I was going there.
I know. I saw your face. It's up there. But like for me, one of my favorite things to meditate to is like a 10-15 minute instrumental piano.
Yeah.
It's just I like a good piano melody
Pianos are
where
beautiful.
it can kind of sink into the background, but it's just very pretty to listen to. And like Greg said, like live music, dude,
That's a
there,
spiritual experience.
yeah, it is a spiritual experience. It has a lot to do with who you're around for sure. My favorite Dave Matthews concerts are the ones in West Palm when we have 20 people that are all sober, for the most part.
We think.
Allegedly,
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
but for the most part, everybody's like sober and is like on the same spiritual journey as you are, and you're sharing that moment of just like some of the best music in my opinion anyway. That's just like it's super fun, but it's super meaningful, and like I have the best memories from those things. And I'm also reminded, I think about it often when we go to concerts and stuff. Dave Grohl has a quote. Everybody's quoting tonight. I'll quote too. Dave Grohl has a quote, lead singer of the Foo Fighters. And he says, that's one of the great things about music. You can sing a song to 85,000 people and they'll sing it back for 85,000 different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really special too, because like part of the live music is the entire crowd around you. I mean, dude, one of the cool, and I'll shout out Dave Matthews concert again, and I'll do it 5 more times. But I mean, Greg, I remember the first time I heard the Stone live. And you were like, check it out, they're gonna do the Elvis song. And they go into what's the actual title of the song?
It's
Can't Help Falling. Fools Rush In, Can't Help Falling in Love.
Can't Help Falling in Love. Yeah.
Yeah. And they go into that whole instrumental with the sax, and then they take like whatever, like 5 bars where the crowd is just singing, and that's just so special, I think. So I mean, there's a million different aspects of music that make it a spiritual experience. Like I said, it's always been important to me. I learned to play the drums at 10, guitar at 12, and I played a lot ever since. For some reason, when I got sober, I stopped playing. Really, I play to myself still, but
Which
I don't really.
I still want to circle back to that at some point, man, because I would love to see you start playing again on some level. On some
I
level.
go through. You can ask Greg. I go through a moment every couple of months where I'm like, I'm going all in. I'm doing it. I'm
Time to
gonna
get
do
the
it.
band back together.
I'm getting the band back together. But like, I just never.
But not
I
even
don't know what it is.
doesn't even have to be that, dude. But maybe just like come sing some stuff for me, dude. You
I
know?
will
Like,
say this.
I'll be in your driveway
Like
tonight, buddy.
when I come back to Florida and visit sometimes, and like a lot of times, like everybody will be working, and Corey, because he works from home, he'll just be like sitting in his living room. So I'll like, go over there to chill with him during the daytime, and he'll just get out the guitar and he'll play like, I don't know, the
Snippets.
first like 2 minutes of a song or whatever. But like it's so cool. Like we just sit there. I won't even talk for 30 minutes. I'll just listen to him strum it out, and like in he'll play the beginnings of 8 different songs, and it's awesome. It's just a cool experience, you know.
I think that's my problem is I like lose interest after
got to
like
get you
the
Terra
intro.
Firmata, dude. We'll get you over at Terra Firmata, dude.
Yeah, it's all been considered. Maybe one day. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what my problem is, but it does. It still means a lot to me. I just had a Beatles moment the other day when I listened to like several Beatles songs in a row, and I was like, "Oh my God, I haven't done this in so long. This is great." And I revisit Pink Floyd and everybody, and it's always, I mean, it's just weaved in and out throughout my day. Even at the gym, I'll shut up with this. Even at the gym, dude, I used to like when I first started going to the gym like consistently, I was like trying to listen to like stuff that would like pump me up or whatever. A lot of John 5, and that's all instrumental guitar stuff. That stuff's wild, and I love it. But a lot of John 5, and sometimes I even go hip hop, and whatever would like pump me up. Dude, today I think I've evolved. Now I just want to listen to whatever the hell I want to listen to. I'm on the stairs today listening to the Hamilton soundtrack from Broadway. Just
Wow.
it was, dude. I just
You
want to
have
listen to it.
You have evolved.
Wait till
Just
you evolve into some poo shiesty, dude. You're gonna
Yeah.
turn the notch up on that
Good
fucking
God.
stairmaster.
it. I mean, I was listening to the Eagles the other day. Love the Eagles,
Oh yeah.
But and that's like the gym is like that time that I actually can get to myself to listen to music. So I'm always looking forward to that. But yeah, dude, good stuff. I mean, what else in this world can make you feel the way music makes you feel, really,
Yep.
So
Yep. Thank you, Corey. I'll land this plane here in a few minutes, guys. And first off, I just want to say thank you to Robert, man. That was like that honestly went exactly the way I thought it was gonna go, and it was perfect. Like it just
yep.
you
very
got
good.
you got like passionate about everything that I knew you would, and just you got a great story. You're a great talker, anyways, and I just knew that was so. Really, really happy to have you on here, man, and just share some experience with us and some laughs and stuff like that. You've become a really important part in my life and a good friend, and so I'm grateful for you for that.
We'll have you
Um,
back on, I'm sure. Or when they finally fire me, you can just take the spot. So
That
Fine.
can't happen, Corey.
Corey,
Nah,
you
I
got
appreciate
you got a very nice shout out from an older woman the other night that loves our podcast, and she said that you specifically were her favorite one. So
Ooh.
I just want you to know that.
I'm into older women.
Whoa.
Gabby's 4 years older than me. Sorry, let's get off this thing,
Hey,
dude.
I'm with you
It's
there.
getting late.
Corey.
It's getting late.
So thank you, Robert. Great reading too,
Thanks.
by the way. You had sent it to me. But by the way, guys, he sent me 2 different readings, and he was like, "Which one do you think is good?" And I was like, "Dude, the music one. Like, don't even."
Oh, very good.
He was like, "Should I ask them what their opinion?" I was like, "No, I guarantee
No.
you, the music one is perfect for this group. Great reading. It is a little outside the box, which I loved. I loved you
Oh, we
put some
needed
thought
it, I
into
think.
that.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, and I will, I will admit that like Greg, Corey, and Bill are much more like aficionados on music than I am although I do have my passions, and I have some of my passions are very personal to me, and I love that. But Robert, what you were saying about like sometimes just breaking out in tears, bro, even to this day, like I get that way sometimes. There are certain songs. The most recent one was the oh god, what's the band? I'm drawing a blank here. Stevie Nicks, what's her band that she was in?
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood
Fleetwood
Mac,
Mac, yeah.
The
Landslide.
no, dude, not Landslide. The one that
Still crying the landslide.
yo, but I do like that song too. But
Great.
I want to be with you everywhere.
Oh,
I want to
Yeah.
be with you everywhere. Like I hadn't
That
heard
one
that song.
tears you up,
Bro, I hadn't heard that
That
song.
one?
I
It
hadn't
would.
heard that song in so many years, and I forget. It was that commercial. Remember, like last Super Bowl season, there was that car commercial, and I don't
Yeah.
remember. It like hits me, and I can't stop listening to that song for like 3 weeks, just on repeat, and I cry when I hear it. And I was in the car. I'll never forget. Like I'm in the car with my girls Sophia and Grace one day, and I'm crying to that song. And I literally pull the car over and I turn around. I'm like, girls, I just hope you find the joy that I have right now. Like I just hope you find joy in your life the way I have it right now. And they're just like looking at me like, Dad, what are we doing? But I like
Can
I've
you
gotten
play
that way
Taylor
with
Swift again, Dad?
bro. I got that way with I got that way with a Maroon 5 song years ago. Like
Which
one
one?
of my Girls Like You
All right.
with Cardi B. I'm not even kidding you,
Oh
dude.
man.
I'm not even kidding you. It was just something about it. Can't help it, dude. I listen. I let the spirit flow through me.
That's it.
Can't help it. It was right after all that stuff came out with the U.S. gymnastics team and all the abuse, and a couple of them were in that music video. If you ever watch it, it's a great. The music, honestly, it might have been the music video. It's a great music video. They have all different kinds of women from all walks of life, and at the end, it's Adam Levine with his family and his child and stuff. So, anyways, my point is, I mean, when I got my license back in sobriety, I'll never forget. I'm going down Canner Highway way too fast in my old Thunderbird with the windows down and Goo Goo Dolls' name, the song name from Goo Goo Dolls, just
Banging.
blaring on the speakers. And, you know, in that moment, I was heading to, with our good friend Brian Beatty, to a sober party that night. And it was just like, it was freedom, right? So I understand the emotion that gets conveyed. I'm not musically talented in any way, shape, or form, but I often think like how just amazing it would be to put on a concert for 85,000. Like that is like what an honor, what a gift from God to be that famous that people want to listen to you, or even a concert for 100 people at a local dive bar. Like just to be able to portray that and share that with people, it truly is spiritual. And we know that like the muses are spiritual, and if you go back into your history and your Greek mythology and all that stuff, and there's a connection there. The emotions and the memories that it brings up, like for me, it's a lot of John Denver. That's what my mom, you know, the guys know it, we laugh about it.
I
But
love John Denver.
but
Though.
I love it. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I love it. And you know, Corey alluded to it. I have 3 of his instrumental songs that all these guys have been forced to sit through during morning
Dude,
meditation.
We come out of meditation
you know,
one morning, and I was like, "Was that Annie's song?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
It's Annie's song, "Sunshine on My Shoulders," and oh God, Poems, Prayers, and Promises. Those 3 back to back. But
Hell
it's
yeah.
just it's a beautiful thing. So that's it for me, guys. This was a great show. Really,
Yeah.
truly great. Robert, thank you again. Please send our regards to the family, to the Lions, to, everything Detroit, and
Eminem.
Thanks.
Eminem,
No, I got
Kid
to give
Brittany
a shout
Murphy.
out before I got to give a shout out to Adriana. Wrote me a whole note here,
Oh, good.
full of stuff. Just wants you guys to know she's really impressive at competitive cheer, and this lists all the moves that she's now accomplished, and I'm very proud of her. And I'm also proud of Isabel.
Shout
She
out
does
to
not
her.
do competitive cheer, but shout out to both of those girls, man. They're incredible, very talented, and just the best daughters in the world. So
And
Oh,
and
yeah.
Robert's slightly happy that his youngest doesn't do competitive cheer. Let's be honest. Yeah, we'll keep that
Yeah.
quiet. But no, Adriana is good. I've seen her in action.
she's opened my eyes to the reality of the It's the real deal. They're athletic, and
Yeah.
the competitiveness and the practice. It's no joke. I'll give her that.
Shout out to Adriana and Isabella and Nelly. Got to give a shout out to Nelly too while we're
Yes.
at it, his wife. So, boys, any quick parting thoughts? Anybody got anything that they want to say? No, everybody good. Quick shout out to Janine who couldn't be here. We love her as always. So, all right. Shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Please remember you can email us, trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send in your mailbag requests for topics, questions, comments to any of these handles. Remember, we are all here. If anyone wants to talk about recovery and our experiences, or if you are struggling with some form of addiction, thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Good night, God bless, and may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We will see you all next week.